Okay, I'm gonna get started. You guys don't want to hear me rambling. Okay, so welcome. Happy Saturday. Okay, wait till you guys see this. And you know what? Darn it. I was going to look this up before I went live and I forgot. Okay, so this is growing on my back deck. And I might be able to spin it all the way around so you can see how big it is, but I'm not 100%. We want to do some wacky moves right now. All right, so these are known around here, and they don't last long in a vase. They'll probably all close up and be done. All right, but I wanted to show you how beautiful they are. I cut these about half an hour ago. So these are big poppies, and the nickname is Sunnyside Up, and they grow like a weed. And the bush I have is probably 15 feet tall. And aren't they amazing? You guys are so big. But the only thing is you just can't put them in a vase for very long, but they are really gorgeous. And there is a proper name. Look how cool that is. There's a proper name. I don't know what it is. And then I thought they looked a little lonely. It's sort of the tail end of the season, so I couldn't get too many. And this is a salvia that's back in bloom, which I love. So that is my beautiful poppies. But I'm going to see if I can turn this around and you guys can see. Okay, let's see. I'm on a, hold on. I'm on a special, hello, back. I'm on a special tripod-y thing. Okay, so wrong window. Yeah, that window. No, it is the right window. I think it's right around there. Anyway, you can see him up tall. If not, I'll send a photo. Maybe we'll do a studio tour soon. We haven't done that in a long time. And that's always fun. Okay, back to business. Okay, so the other thing that I cut for you guys, which okay, you think that's big? Ready? Okay. Is this amazing? All right, so this is a fun story. So these are I just picked it. So these are trumpet plants, angel trumpet plants. And the fancy name is Datura. And these are poisonous. So if you have little kids, just be careful. But they're really, really easy to grow in my location. If you're by the coast, if it doesn't get too cold. And they're really easy to propagate. You literally just cut a piece off. You can put it in water and it will root right away, or you can put it right in the dirt. I mean, they're sort of like succulents, the way that they can propagate and just grow. Like you can take any succulents and do the same thing. You don't have to do any fancy stuff. You can just put it right in the ground or right in water. And these are gorgeous. So look, okay, I mean, they're poisonous if I eat them. I'm not gonna, get sick in my hair, but anyway. All right, so these smell incredible. Like if I could have perfume and rub this all over me, they're in the most beautiful flower, and they attract a moth at nighttime. And so at nighttime, the trees that I have around smell incredible. Like I just really love them. And the story behind them is that Mark's mom, Anna, who I have a huge connection to with my story of doing art. I'm sure you guys have heard, most of you guys have heard that. But she gave us all this, everybody in her family, she gave one of her cuttings off her tree. So she just, rooted 3 of them and gave them to all of us. And my kids were so tiny. And I was like looking at my husband like, oh my God, your mom just gave us a poisonous plant. What's wrong with her? I was petrified that my kids were going to run down and like eat the plant, which of course they never did, but you do have to be careful. But anyway, since then, that one little tree she gave us has grown into at least 4 or 5 big trees, as well as I give them to everybody that wants one. I just pop them, stick a little piece in water and you're all good. But isn't that fun? So it's a great little story, and I love the fact that they keep on growing and they keep on producing these beautiful, gorgeous, I mean, how pretty are these to draw? They're like little ballerina dresses, Aren't they cute? All right, those are the flowers. And anyway, hope you guys like them. Okay, so today I was thinking I wanted to talk to you guys about the next sort of layer in my journal. So we did a lot of backgrounds last week, and I showed you what I've been working on in my mornings. And I wanted to show you guys how I do the next step of collage and how I get that down and all that good stuff. And then I found some old journals that I collaged, and I thought that'd be fun to go through with you guys. All right, so hold on, I'm gonna move us around. I'm not gonna move you around. I'm gonna move the tripod around and show you. So I'll also have my computer right next to me. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. And all right, hold on. I'm gonna move us. I've got to move the tripod. Oh, let's move that over here. I got some water. Don't want to spill it. Okay. I think this is the best way. All right, hold on, you guys. I'm gonna flip us. Flip. Oh. That's not good. Hold on. Stay tuned. Okay. That's so pretty. Okay. Here we go. Flipperoonie. Hold on. I want to make sure this is perfect. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, thanks, Molly. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I love my studio. And I'll definitely do a little studio tour now that I have better internet. Oh, I used to do a couple of them, and my internet couldn't handle going outside and all around. So, okay. Just want to make sure I can see you guys. All right, are we good? Okay, before I get started, I also wanted to share, I love sharing things that I love. And I hope I don't, probably if I tilt it sideways, it might. I think this is good enough. You guys can see this. This is a candle called Coastal Rainfall, and it's by a company called BrokenTopCandleCo.com. Okay, and I'll link to it. It's a little store in Bend, Oregon, but this candle has cucumber, violet, and foliage in it, and it smells amazing, and it's Coastal Rainfall, and it really just is so gorgeous, and I love it. And I like to have a candle going on in my art studio, even though I have to sort of be careful because I'm such a spaz. I don't want to blow my place up. Okay, look, this is almost a heart. Do you guys see it? It's almost a heart. I'll have to add a heart shape to it. All right, first I want to show you guys some old, first I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've been doing so you can see the collage things, and I'll show you some older stuff. So I love adding bits of collage to my papers, and I've done this forever, and I'll show you something from college. So how old is that? Like decades ago. And it's a great way to kind of keep things archival too. Like if you really love some of your art and you were working on your journal and you want to keep it, I like to collage it, and I also like to use matte medium. And so I also thought, because Cheryl had asked a question about her painted bench in our group, and there's these two mediums that I have. One's called matte varnish, and the other is called matte medium. Matte medium is pretty much the same as like a Mod Podge, so I use the matte medium, and I have that in a lot of my stuff that I glue down and I use. I don't really use it for, anything else. Like it extends color. It also is good for other types of ways of painting. I just really use it as a glue and as a varnish. But if you guys remember, I did those outdoor frames. When I did the outdoor frames, I went into an art supply store and I asked them, like, what's a great varnish for outdoor things? And they recommended this one called a matte varnish. So this is, you know, I think probably there's, I don't know, you know, sometimes when they do marketing, that's like the exact same thing and they just say it's different and it's really not. I couldn't tell you exactly what is in here that's different. I mean, let me just see if I can give it a quick glance. Let's see. It doesn't really say. So they feel very similar, and I just wanted, you know, you to know that if you were doing something for outdoors, you may want to just do the matte varnish. And Cheryl, I think your bench is indoors, so the matte medium would be fine. I'd also go with, you know, this one was pretty expensive, I think more than this one. And so, you know, try the differences. This one is definitely a little bit thicker, but because I think you're also using this for acrylics. This one's not really something you use to make with your acrylics. It's really just as a varnish. So just see what you like better, but I think they both would do the trick. This one I definitely would use as the glue. All right, so this was really a question back to Cheryl on how to, you know, varnish her bench that she's working on. So I think either of those are fine. With that said, I use this for a lot of stuff. And Molly asked, does it leave a sticky feel to it? This definitely left a sticky feel while it was drying. And then once it's dried and done, it was fine. So I did notice though, when I put on this varnish, it was a little bit sticky. And you know, you just have to wait for it to dry. This is also a little, I feel like this is a little bit more toxic. It had definitely a stronger scent to it, not in a nice way. It wasn't perfumey. So anyway, anybody else who has some feedback on that, great to share in here. I just want you to know for my collage, I use matte medium. Okay. All right. So what I've been doing is when I've been working in my studio, I have just been digging up my bits and pieces that I have been painting on. And, you know, this is one where I collage. I just want to show you some of the collage pieces. This was a piece of art palette paper. Let's see if I still have it. And this is just palette paper that had some paint on it, and I just ripped it. I like to hand rip. You know, I don't like to cut things. And then, you know, I'll layer and layer. And what I might do is spend a morning just putting down bits and pieces throughout my journals without really thinking that this page is clearly not done, but it's done for now. And then maybe I'll go back and I'll add pink pens to it. Maybe I'll go back and add acrylic paint over it, or maybe I'll go back in and just keep layering little bits that I found that I have, you know, painted, and I have a whole tray of that I can show you guys. I think I did that last week. So let's see, what other things did I end up right here? I thought this was really pretty. You know, this has already had the edge from the paper. This is an old book. And then I just ripped around it like that. But it had all of the work I was doing on it, you know, for the last couple of weeks. And here's another piece. So, you know, look at your pieces of collage material and see, is there anything I want to do? You know, maybe I want to balance this spread out, and I put one piece there and one piece there, and then I draw in the middle something, you know, or paint or sew, whatever I want to do. But it's sort of like the second stage when I put down, when I'm working in collage this way, I'll put the background down first, and then I'll go over with some collage pieces. Okay, so let's see what else. Oh, this is one that, and forgive me, you guys, if I'm repeating myself, but this one is a page that had, you know, that plastic that I use for painting on. Let me just grab this is also good. This is also good for your palette. And this was the big ink stain I made, and I know I showed this last week, but I also have lots of bits of these plastic sheets, and I can either, you know, go in and scrape this off and reuse it again on this side. But I thought this was really cool looking, so I cut some up And I put it on top of that flower that was underneath, and I glued it down. But then I also, because it's plastic, you know, I didn't know how much glue to put down. I used the washi tape to just sort of add some texture. I think it's really pretty. You guys might think it's crazy, but you know, it's just a journal page and it's just for fun and it's not going anywhere. It's not going in any art gallery, but it's kind of cool because it's just a whole new texture. I'm not going to varnish on top of it. I'm just leaving it the way it is. So then, what else did I do last week? I think some of these you've seen. Oh, this one I was just working on. Crazy about some circles. Okay, so that was one little journal. And then, I can't remember if I showed you guys this and when this all was. But there was a spread I was working on that I really didn't like, and I covered most of it up with this blue ink. And then after that ink was dry, I went in and I added lots of paint pens. And so something that's really fun to do in your journal is if you are working on a page and you're like, this is just ugly, then let it dry completely and go over it with some paint pens. Paint pens are so awesome to just go in, and especially these big ones, because they kind of cover up any lines that you don't like, and they just add a whole nother, you know, element to your art. I really like using them, even if it's going in and just making little dots. You know, a lot of times too, it's just, you don't have a lot of time. So paint pens are easy because you don't have to get all the water out and you don't have to get all of your brushes out. You literally are painting with a tool and you're doing something for 10 or 15 minutes and it's really meditative and you don't have to worry about a big cleanup and a big mess. So I think I showed you this one too. This is the book that was ripped. So I took the washi tape and I fixed it that way. These are just pages I'm working on. And washi tape is another great way to add, you know, pieces in your journal that maybe you don't want to have permanent. But these are so fun. I got these at an Etsy store. I'll try to remember to link to it. I have a whole bunch of different ones. They are from England and they were not expensive at all. And they were not expensive to send. Trust me, I've been like on washi tape hunts, and the woman who creates these washi tapes has so many different designs. The one that I love, and they don't have it anymore, and I'm so bummed, is the one that looks like my art. And I really love to do all my shop and on my online store. I used to do all my packaging in this, but now this is like my last one, so I'm like savoring it. And that's this one right here. So washi tape is another way to adhere things. If you don't want to get all sticky and gluey, it's like a little bit more fun than just regular tape. And so it's, you know, it's just another element that you can add. So these are all ongoing journals. They are, I have lots of them. And I wanted to show you too, like I save all of them. I have so many. And this was a little watercolor one that I know it was from when the kids were little, because I'm going to show you a couple little things. But it's watercolor paper. And I love that it's watercolor paper because I can, you know, really add in the water and not worry about it being too thin, like this one here from Peg and All. The paper is just a regular drawing paper. So I do have to put gesso down when I want to add a whole bunch of things to it. And it can take watercolor, like here's watercolor, but the paper's just a little thinner. And so I have a bunch of different ones, but this one is by Moleskine. It's really tiny. It also has got some, it's perforated. Can't even say it. And you just sort of go like that and rip it off if you made something that was really gorgeous. But I just don't know when the year was. This was August 11th, and this is a sketch of Hudson's drawing when he was 3. So what I did was he had, okay, so this is really fun. And this is why I also like to make little notes in my journals if it's something that I haven't done or seen and, you know, in a long time. But anyway, so Hudson is 16 now. And so he must have done this little drawing when he was 3 years old. And then I took it and I redrew it with pen. That's all this is like the Micron pen. So much fun. Let's see. Oh, look at this one. Somebody wrote in it, obviously, Hudson and Lukey's Chickie. So my kids have these little stuffies, and they're little lovies. And anyway, when anybody has a baby, I always get them these lovies. They're amazing. And then these were some sweet peas, but I just wanted to show you, oh, Hudson's clay rabbit. And then this was me drawing Luke. And anyway, but I dug it out and let's see. Oh, look how cute this is. Okay, Hudson. This was like one of my very first things that I drew, like for my very first art class that I went to after, you know, I don't know, not doing art for so long. Hudson says to me, maybe one day you'll be famous and you can draw all the time. Happy Day can be your logo. Oh, so this, I'm like having an inside moment with myself. That's really sweet. That is from my kid. Anyway, this is something I just did over the weekend, and it's literally taking your brush and dipping it into some watercolor and using that opera pink that I love and just making some marks. And really, if you had 10 minutes, that's all you need to do too. But journals are also, the way I use journals, as you can tell, is that I just grab them and open them up to wherever I want to open them. I don't start from the beginning and I work towards the end and fill it up and be like, okay, I'm done. I literally grab them and put them away. I have masses of them and they're just fun to pull out. They remind me of just having like a photo album, you know, of your art. So I also decided that for all my new art classes that I do, and isn't that kind of fun together too, is I am going to always have an art journal lesson, because even if it's just a little one, I just think it's really important to keep practicing. And sometimes when you're practicing on something small, then, you know, you can not feel so stressed out or, oh, it's this big project, you know, just have little ones. So I'm just going to show you some old journals, but this one actually isn't too old. And this is not done. I just threw this in together, but this is that little set I got from Wildthorn, and Leslie in our community just got one too, the same exact palette. It's called Tree Alchemy. And what I did was, this color back here actually is not the color. This color back here is ink, but it does definitely look like one of the colors. But this is to show you, like, I had a background and I had painted it ink, and I just took a sponge brush and I just did a whole bunch of ink on a bunch of pages and let them be for one day when I wanted to do a, you know, little bit of journaling. So here's a spread that I took from all the things that Wildthorn gives you. So when you open up the package from this little adorable package, you get like so many things, way more than I have in here. But I just love how they have this little note for me. Dear Andrea, thank you for believing, I think it says believing this Tree Alchemy palette, or ordering, believing, ordering, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, all the different names, everything they do is handwritten. And I thought that was so beautiful, and it has the date on it. So this is sort of a way too to kind of collect and keep. And then years from now, I'll open this page up and remember the experience I had from opening up a really cool gift. So if you have a gift from somebody like for your birthday or for the holidays and you love the paper they wrapped it in and maybe there's a little tag with it, then save that, put it in a tray for the next time you want to go journal, and then you can do a little page. You know, they don't have to be this big, but you could do a little page and a tiny little note about the gift. And, you know, if you don't do that, you're going to forget. You know, you're going to forget, I'll forget what, you know, the packaging looked like and how beautiful it was and how it made you feel. So just sort of think about that stuff. I'm just trying to think if there was anything in here. Oh, look at my pages are stuck. Okay, here's one. I know most of you guys have seen this, but this is just collage work from using some collage art papers. I got this from Tisha Moore, and some backgrounds and some stencils and paint pens and washi tapes. Basically everything that you can imagine, I put in here. And my word of the year was focus. I'm still working on it. It's still the word and I'm still working on it. And every once in a while, I mean, like, what's my word? I need to focus. But, you know, there's so many beautiful things in here that I loved. And I don't have matte medium over the top. I just have it underneath some of this. But I also wanted to show you guys out there who don't know about the Tombow. The Tombow monotape is awesome too, and you don't have to get the varnishes out with a paintbrush. You can use this and just tape down some stuff, and you can then leave it. So all of this was done with the Tombow. And again, if you're not like going out and about, you don't have to matte medium everything down. That's totally up to you. But you know, some of these edges can lift up. See the little tops? You know, they can lift up because they're just taped down. So it's however you want to do it. But okay, so I want to show you some really funny old things. And let me just push that aside. All right. Okay. My candle is getting a little hot right next there. All right. So let's see. What do I want to show you first that's hysterical? Okay, I'm going to show you this. All right, so when I was in college in I think this was from 85, and I think I might have to move this up a little bit so you can see, because it's kind of big. So this was, this is funny, you guys. This was toilet paper, and so our professor, I don't know what class it was, but our professor's like, I want you guys to collage. He was really, really into collage, and he really wanted us to work on a piece that we would create. And it was probably our history. And so anyway, I went into the building, and I went into the bathroom, and I grabbed a bunch of toilet paper, and I started using the matte medium and creating this beautiful pattern. Isn't that gorgeous? This texture. So if you guys are short on texture, grab toilet paper, and then what you could do is you can smush it together. Like you can use the brush and push it and really create a beautiful piece of texture. Okay, so here is the inside of that. So it was a journal, like journals I make. So it was probably the, arches or something like that, or, some sort of watercolor paper. So it's nice and thick. And then it was a 3-fold. And so you just opened it up like this. And I guess, because I can't remember, it was all things where you would go in and it was all like history. So we'll look at one page. Well, I'll show you all the pages, but we'll look at one page so you can see. But look at my mom. Wait, I'm trying to fold this so you can see how gorgeous it is. All right, that is my mom. Is she so beautiful? I mean, there she is, looking so hot, and I can't. Okay, so this has got to be like, let's see. Mom, you chime in and let me know. Maybe it was from late 50s. I'm not 100%, but looking pretty adorable and a sexy mama, right? So somehow, Mom, I had this photo. Don't get mad, but I glued it down. I think there was 2 of those. God, I hope so. She's probably going to be so mad at me. All right, so let me just zoom down a little bit. Okay, so this is this first one, 1963. Okay, Mom, it's awesome. Right before I was born. In 66. Anyway, so I basically grabbed some stuff, like the stamps were 22 cents. This was a ballet class that I did 1971, and I was at the Pinewood School of Dancing. So let's see, I passed. I didn't get flying colors, but I passed. And then I have these art classes that I was taking in college. So I was taking those 4 classes. Don't know what they were. And then let's see, this is where I went to school. So I went to a state school of Oswego in New York. It was one of the SUNY schools. Maybe I was doing a little beer drinking, not 100%. Okay, then look at this picture. This is my mom's house growing up. Okay, this is in England. And Mom, you can chime in too. I think it was near Wimbledon, but this house is so gorgeous. I have so many fond memories of it. The leaded windows are absolutely stunning, but this front door was, I just remember how beautiful it was. And look at the gardens. And my grandfather was an amazing gardener, and he would garden in the front garden, in the back garden, and he loved roses, and I just love it so much. And so maybe, Mom, you can find me a picture of the whole house, because yes, I would love to draw this. I think it's just stunning. So there it is. There was a little fish. There was a little fish pond in the back, and I just remember that. And I also remember scents. I don't know if you guys are like that too, but I remember walking in and always smelling the smell of my grandmother cooking, something like fried and delicious. So she was a really good cook. Okay, what else is in here? Okay, here. Oh, I might have to brag a tiny bit. Maybe I bragged about this before, but when I was younger, way long time ago, I came in second to a big art competition, a European art competition. And it was, I won this camera that I still have, this Canon 45 millimeter camera. And my school entered my picture. I really can't remember too much about the whole drawing it. And it wasn't this one. They made me redo the one that I did, and I know it was not as good. I think I remember somebody saying, well, that's not nearly as good as the one that won. But supposedly, this painting, the real one, not this one, supposedly is hanging in Venice. And so I've been to Venice twice, not hunting it down because I'm sure it's not there anymore, but I'm just fascinated with Venice. It's one of the most beautiful places. I love it so much. And I think it's really cool that that is supposed to be there hanging up. But anyway, an Italian girl came in first, and I came in second. So, and this was my medal, and I still have this medal. It's a little bronze medal that I have, and I loved it. So there's my claim to fame. I think I worked when I was in college, and this was, I think, the place that I worked at the, I don't know where, doing something, but my gosh, I was working 30 hours a week. It's a lot. And that was my address in college. And anyway, my point is not to go down a memory road with you, but my point is that this is another way to archive memories besides a photo album. And all of this has matte varnish over it. It will keep it for a long time. I don't have to worry about any of these pieces coming off. It wasn't a piece of art per se, as I wasn't doing the art it was more to just create like a piece of history. But what I do love is, look how fun that is. It's so close to this. But what I did love was just creating this this design, and I think I made a couple big pieces like this too that we had hanging in my mom's house. But like, here's something that you could do with the toilet paper or tissue paper, but tissue paper is thicker, so it really worked with toilet paper. But when I used the matte medium, I think I used a little bit of water. I can't even remember, but I smushed the brush around and created this little hole right here. And anyway, that's one thing that I thought was cute. So I wanted to show you that. And let's see, then this one is, I think I've shown you guys these before, but we'll just quickly go through this one. This is just, you know, doing some collage, doing some writing, and, you know, using art journals. This is one that I made, and just using it to create some pretty stuff. This was from a book. If you guys ever have read Before We Were Yours, it's a great book by Lisa Wingate. And I really, really loved this one paragraph. And music is created into the scene, woven in ways we do not understand. You may love the melody of a bygone day or imagine the song of a future one, but we must dance within the music of today, or we will always be out of step, stumbling around in something that doesn't suit the moment. And I read that, and I just, like, it spoke to me so much that I just, like, I think I just sat down and I just rewrote it. I took the book and I just rewrote it here. And, you know, that's another way to be inspired, is if you're reading something and you see, even if it's not a poem or a quote, but you see a paragraph in a book that really spoke to you, you know, write it down, because it's a great thing to have. When I do my writing, I usually use my paint pens or my microns, or I do a lot of writing in the Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens because they're India ink, and anyway, they work great. Then just some other stuff. Little note from Donna. Just some really beautiful things, and I'm not done. You know, this is a book where, look, I've got some blank pages. How about that one? Blank. And this is years old. And so don't feel like things have to be finished. They don't. This is what happens if you don't matte medium things, though, and you use the Tombow. And if it's precious, matte medium. If it's not precious, maybe I'll matte medium this and use it as part of my next step on here. I just thought some of these textures were really cool together, you know. It doesn't always have to be art papers. It could be magazine clippings. Keep everything that inspires you. And then this one, lastly, I wanted to show you, and I know I've done this once before a couple years ago, was a project I did with Jane Davenport and Tisha Moore in the Mermaid Circus, where we made our journal, and we made it out of watercolor paper, but also added different things inside of here. Like, this is a file folder. This is obviously not done, but this is a file folder. Can you see where, you know, this is the lip of a file folder? This was, I think this was, oh, I know exactly what this is. This is really fun. Okay, you know when you go to a restaurant and the kids draw on the table? So this is what this is. I took the, you know, white paper that was on a table, and my kids had crayons and were drawing all over it. And so I saved a lot of this stuff. Like, I saved that, and I saved a lot of their art. And then I took it and I sewed it into this journal, and I put a whole bunch of matte medium on top just to keep it. And so now it's got this little gloss to it, but it's nice and thick. And then I was able to go into a couple little areas and just do some doodles and just, you know, have this piece. I wish I would have dated it. I wish I would have dated it. I also wish I would have written a little thing, a little story behind it. So anyway, that's kind of another fun thing to do. This is just one of the pages that I had worked on, and it was doing a lot of lettering and some collage and some paint pens and paints, just grabbing quotes. Clearly I'm not done with that page. And this is a tree I did. What did the tree learn from the earth to be able to talk to the sky? And so there's things that are not finished, and that I just wanted to sort of leave you guys with that. So I'm gonna flip us around. Almost hit finish by accident. That would not have been good. We're not finished yet. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's see. Yay! Worked. Anyway, so all right, I wanted to just show you guys all the different things that you can do with your journals, whether it's a tiny little thing like the little guy, okay, tiny, or they're like big, you know, big things. And these ones that I make are great because they're so thin, and I just stack them up, and I've got tons of them there. But I think it's so funny that this is the one I did from college. And so here I am making these, going to college, then spending 20 years in a corporate world and not doing any art, okay? And then coming back full circle to making these. So I think that was really funny and really cool. All right, what else do I want to tell you? And then post them. If you guys have journal pages, I'd love to see them. I've been still trying to do my morning journals, and some days I'll just do watercolor, and some days I'll just do collage. Some days I'll just grab my paint pens. It doesn't really matter what you do. I think it's just kind of using your art supplies, whatever you can. All right, so let me see if there's any questions that you guys have thought. Oh, yes, we are all little hoarders, and that's okay. And Sandra has, oh my gosh, would you do me a favor? You have to post a photo of some of your journals. Sandra has the most amazing journals in her house, like lots of adorable, so cute, like this size, and just so much fun. And when I was there with my mom, we like, I think it was last year or the year before, we went through some of them, and they were gorgeous. So you better post some of those because I love them. All right, what else do I want to tell you? I think next week I want to do some work with some stenciling and some homemade sort of tools. I did that once before. Like, I feel like that was so yesterday, so far away. I think it was like 2 years ago. But being able to create marks with stencils and also with some handmade tools, and maybe I will make that toothpick one together, something like that. And so keep on creating. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I know we're going to be heading into August. Wait, yeah, it will be August. No, it will be the end of July. I think it's the 31st. So I will see you for one more Saturday in July, and then I'll be here still all the time. And my little birdie has not come back, but if I see him, I will post him. Okay? All right, you guys. Have a fantastic week. Of course, I rambled way too long, but it's so good to like just chat with you. And also, if you ever have anything you want me to go through in our lives, just post them in the comments, and I'll try to make a note and do that next week. Okay? I think that's all. I feel like I'm forgetting something, major announcement, but I just don't have one. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Mwah!